But enough of this palaver. Let's get the show on the road.
60-40. And go. And go. You know what? This might surprise you.
The piss out of me.
This might surprise you.
Yeah.
I'm losing faith in Obama.
Yep. A lot of people.
And you know, I was rah-rah Obama.
Yep.
Even though I'm not rah-rah system. I hate the system in general.
No,
but I was like a little excited about this Obama guy. And the last week or so, he's losing me. Between the mom genes and the 60-40.
Yeah.
And his approval rating, by the way, down to 44%. That came out yesterday. And he was what? In the 60s? A mere couple months ago?
He was in the Messiah range during the election.
Yep.
And now, some people are starting to go like, does this guy know what the fuck he's doing?
We're heading toward a 60-40 split with the government, meaning we pay 60.
Yep.
We pay 60.
We pay 60.
I was getting a little nervous when it was
40.
I started getting nervous when it went 50-50.
Dude, it's crazy.
You can't take... You can't.
Sure can.
That's insane.
They sure can.
It's absolutely insane.
With his wonderful ideas on healthcare, which, by the way, I don't even think it's written. He doesn't really have an idea as to what the whole bill is about.
Yeah.
Even he was questioned and said, well, I have to look and see. I'm not sure of the entire thing. Oh, really? Well, but one thing he is sure is snatching the money from people that have worked for it and that they deem rich. Again, if you make over $250,000 a year in this country, you are considered rich. Perhaps in Arkansas, some other states, you're rich. I wouldn't doubt that, but you can't hold the same standards for somebody that lives in Arkansas as you can for someone that lives in Los Angeles or New York City. $250,000 is two people working their asses off to pay for an apartment, food, parking, just things like that, transportation. That is not rich. But
do the people
they will bear the brunt.
Do the people understand that listen to us in the smaller places that it's not a boo-hoo thing, but $250,000 in New York City is certainly not rich.
You're living. It's all relative.
It's barely living well, to be honest with you.
It's all relative. And there isn't a relative taxation. There isn't a relative. They just look at people all over the country and say, here's the level where you are considered wealthy, no matter where you live or anything like that. And some people have no defense because, like Ope just said, you get the boo-hoo from everybody else, which, obviously if you're making $30,000 a year and struggling like a motherfucker, you're going to look and go, I wish I was making $250. If I was, I'd gladly pay. No, you wouldn't, first of all. No, you fucking wouldn't. And when it goes up to the point where the government will be taking more money home than you do, you'd have a problem with that. And I have a giant problem with that and paying for this health care bill that he's trying to concoct, which is pure socialism.
So, does Ron listen to the program? Yeah, I said I don't mind paying more, but I just said in the last week or two, I'm even losing faith in Obama. A 60-40 split with the government where we pay 60 and the government gets 40 is completely insane.
Yeah.
It's completely insane.
It makes no sense.
And is this for New Yorkers, the 60-40 split?
Oh, no, this is
nationwide?
This will be, if Obama's version of a health care program is put in place, the brunt of the payment is going to be on the backs of the rich. Again, by the way, remember when he was saying, well, the taxes, he goes, the people that are hard-pressed, we have to help bring them up. We have to bring them up, which for some reason, I don't know, I don't want to bring anyone up. Go fuck yourself. I'm not bringing people up. So now...
Would you like to bring a few people up?
Hey, I bring people up that I want to bring up.
No, it's, you mentioned that. I mean, from my personal experience, I come from a large family. And I got a bunch of people that aren't doing too well.
Yeah.
And what's going on with the taxes and whatnot, it makes it harder for me to step up and help family members because I'm helping strangers I'm helping strangers. You're helping
You're
strangers.
right.
Like I said it a long time ago. All right, if you're going to force us to, hand over 60% of our earnings, then allow me to choose family members I want to help. Let me start there at least.
Yeah, start there, or even people working. Like, put it this way. I've had a lot of work done on my house over the past year. Now you can say, "Oh, booty hooty hoo!" Look at Anthony. No, you know what? I'm not looking for sympathy.
Yeah.
What the point I want to put across is, I've employed a lot of fucking people: carpenters, electricians, plumbers, a lot of people, woodworkers, have been employed. Masons. There isn't one fucking occupation during this shit fucking economy that has not been employed, but personally by me, over my house. And I am looking now and going, you know something? I have to slow the fuck down. I got to slow the fuck down because I don't know what this cocksucker is going to fucking start taking out of my check.
That's sort of that's how I'm feeling too.
So now
all of a sudden you start looking around and go, I'm not gonna buy this. I'm not gonna spend this. I'm not gonna hire this person. That is a fact.
It isn't so much buying thing. Like people think, oh, what, Anthony, you're not gonna be able to go out and buy a car or buy this or buy that. I'm not gonna be employing people. People that came to my house and I paid them to do work will not be getting paid. That's fucking the economy. And the reason is I got to hold back now because I don't know how much I'm going to have to pay for some cocksucker's health care. Sorry, it ain't guaranteed.
When it comes to a 60-40 split with the government where you're paying the 60, you got to start looking at the government. You got to start looking at the system and going, it's broke.
Yeah.
It's broke when you're demanding 60% a 60-40 split with your
It's tax and spend Democrats. I'm sorry. I sound like a fucking broken record. I sound like a cliche.
You're right, though.
But it's so true. We've never had a deficit this big. The Democrats used to jump on any Republican president the second the deficit got high. And I don't hear one person talking about the deficit higher than it's ever been. And ticking away. Tick-tock. And it's these fucked programs. And then this idiot appoints a fucking big fat surgeon general. He's trying to appoint this big fat surgeon general. You can't. What kind of example is that?
Why?
Because she's a big fat black woman. Perhaps I don't know.
Big fat out of shape woman.
Out of shape fucking surgeon general who is supposed to be, kind of the czar of health. and people are going, dude, she's fucking considered obese.
Hey, do what I say, not what I. Wait,
do what I say, not what I do.
Right.
Yeah,
still a little early. We're
eat
still
what I say,
up,
not what I eat.
Don't eat what I eat.
It's
the
fucking
end.
And von Wolfgang, you could stick it up your fucking mother's asshole.
Wow.
Great. This is what they start with first thing in the morning.
That's a little rough.
No N-words employed at Ant's house. And you know something? You're full of shit. I don't use the N-word while I'm speaking about this subject, my friend. I use it when I'm talking about fucking criminals bashing people's heads in. That's when I'll use it. But not in public. Perish that fucking thought. I use it for people that deserve being called shitheads, assholes, savages, fuck-offs. And then that word might get thrown in if deserved. But I've had people work at Danny's been at my house and watched people fucking working at my house of various ethnic backgrounds.
When his eyes are open.
And sexual preferences.
Exactly. Wow, he's dreamy.
Are you in a bad mood today?
No, I'm in a good fucking mood. I bask in being pissed.
Obama's losing me too, man.
This guy's an
gotta
idiot,
be
though.
honest with you.
I would really love to call in. Hey, give the number.
Call. It's
Give
right
the
on
number.
your bad data.
Von Wolfgang, give the fucking number. I want to hear your point. Bashing Obama. What? I don't have a right to bash? Go fuck yourself. He's taxing the shit out of the people that are employing people. So they cannot employ people anymore. Yay! So how does that work? I'm reading your shit. Type it in. How the fuck does that work? him penalizing the people that are employing people. Ugh. Had it. Yeah, he's like Robin Hood, all right.
Let me say hi to Frank in Jersey. Frank.
Hey, he's got me sick to my stomach. It's not like Obama's going to go away in 4 years and we're going to get this money back. Once it's gone, it's gone. So this is what these people that elected him, that were cheering, crying when he's elected, don't understand.
Yeah, exactly.
Once he screws it up, it's gone. It's not like no matter Democrat, Republican, once they come in the office, it's not like they said, let's give this money back to these people. So it's done.
Yeah, then it's just done. The tax goes up, it stays there, and you're penalized for achieving the American dream in this country now.
But all those people protesting were hillbillies who were just racist against Obama.
Right, that's what they said. You know, when people were protesting tax increases, they were just redneck assholes that were racist. That the only reason they were protesting is because they were racist. And no, they're displeased with what's going on with this fucking guy. Jesus Christ. Just tax the shit out of everybody and think that's going to help. You know what it's going to do? It's going to make everyone pull the fuck back. Me, my spending, I'm cutting it back. What am I going to do? What am I going to do now? Hire more people to work at my house? No, I'm not fucking hiring. I got to sit back now and see how much I'm going to have to pay for some fucking other guy that I don't know who the fuck they are for this socialized health care. And one thing I'd like to say, do you think Ted fucking Kennedy would still be alive if he was under some socialized health care like Canada?
Right.
Do you think that motherfucker would still be alive? Bullshit!
Wait, you don't think he just went to a regular one and had to wait?
Please. And had to wait 6 months for surgery like they do in Canada under the socialized Obama health care program? Blow me. That motherfucker would have pudding coming out his ears in a fucking casket. He'd be dead!
And ask Wolfgang or whatever his name is, if he wants somebody to come to his town and put all the money into a pot and everybody make the same amount of money. If they take his salary and give it and divide it up with everybody that works at the food town and Walmart and everybody makes the same amount of money. That's what the Obama nation wants.
Ted Kennedy would be dead from a brain tumor if he had to adhere to any type of socialized medicine, some type of tax the rich so they could pay for the poor, the government, which is already now in the automotive industry, the banking business. You know, they're spreading themselves thin. Now they want to run health care, which is great because the government's been so good at running everything. Whenever it's a government agency, never too many people for one job, never a bunch of red tape, never delays, never over cost. So them running the country's healthcare system is just going to be a treat. I'm not saying the one we have in place now is great. It sucks a dick. The insurance companies need to be spanked because they're just robbing people blind with the cost of premiums for healthcare. I understand that. But that doesn't mean the government, again, has to step in and snatch everything up and fucking run the show. Enough already. Enough fucking taking my goddamn money away. And rich doesn't mean you're rich forever. You know, you make a lot of money. It's really nice.
You know what kind
but
of
at
rich you
some
are.
point, yeah, exactly. Exactly. You know what it is? You make a lot of money, and it's nice. You're able to put it away. You're able to buy some things. You're able to, like I said, employ some people, build yourself up. That was the American dream. That isn't a fucking crime in this country. It's what was supposed to happen. It's an opportunity for somebody to step in and use a little bit of luck, some skill, networking, whatever you want to call it, to build themselves up and make something. The opportunity, not a guarantee, the opportunity to prosper in this country. People now think it's a guarantee that they're guaranteed health care. You're not. You could die on the side of a fucking dumpster, lonely and broke. That's part of it. Or you can be a very rich man that can take care of his family and other people. It's what this country is. There's no fucking guarantees.
You should debate Obama. How do we get this done?
Oh, please, get him on.
How do we get this done? How do we get this
him on.
done?
What? Treat him with kid gloves, everybody.
We could Google bomb that.
I've never seen a fucking president treated with such kid gloves under such adverse circumstances.
Not so much
like this.
The people are turning a bit on Obama.
I certainly hope
the people are
some
turning
people
on Obama a bit.
It's not socialized medicine. Oh, my God. Yes, it is, von Wolfgang.
Why isn't he calling in?
When people are paying, when the wealthy, as they're considered, are paying for the masses, it is socialized medicine. It is like the old communist method of everybody gets a piece of the pie. It doesn't work. It doesn't fucking work.
I'm a union sheet metal worker, and in my local fund,
so was I.
It funds our own health care. So the people that are working are taking care, are paying for the people that are unemployed at the time, and we're always broke. The fund is always broke. We're always dumping more money into that fund.
Yep.
Trying to support. I mean, obviously union, and that's what it's all about. But it's always broke because we're always trying to take care. Everybody's paying for the retirees' health benefits, and one retiree.
Well, retirees you should pay for, dude, because they carried the load for a long time. It's different. Retirees are different, man. Retirees are different.
Yeah, it is a different story.
No, they should, but one retiree gets cancer, and he has $400,000 in medical bills. And you know what I'm saying? So it's the same thing that Obama wants on a larger scale.
If he paid in, then that's fine. There are people. I do not want to support people that did not pay into the system. There's this, like Social Security. You pay in, and then it gives you the ability when you retire to get some money. Whether it's too much, too little, not enough, whatever. That's debatable, arguable, whether it's going broke, whatever. But it's the concept of you pay in and you take out. I don't like this. Some people pay in, other people pay nothing, but everyone gets the same thing. That's called socialism. And if douchebag here that I'm reading his fuck name every 2 seconds can't understand that, when everyone pays in and then everyone can take out, that's different. It's not some people paying in to care for others and hold them up, as Obama says. I'm not here to hold people up. If they do work for me, I pay them. That's capitalism. That's what our country's based on, not socialism, which is what Obama is doing. He is trying to put across socialist programs by taking care of people based on taxing the living fuck out of people that are the only people in this country with the ability to employ other people. So now, like I said, I pull back. I don't employ people. Now, what happens to them? They're not making money. Unemployment goes up. Boy, that worked well. And we're just getting tax and spend like every Democrat has a fucking stamp tax and spend on his forehead.
Listen, Mike in Jersey, my wife and I earned $268,000 last year and struggle every month to pay our mortgage, car payments, college costs, and our luxury, quote, vacation this year is a trip to the Jersey Shore.
Yeah.
It's not rich.
This is another booty hooty hoo thing?
Yeah.
When people go, oh, poor Anthony, oh, booty hooty hoo. I'm not getting a new car anytime soon. I used to support General Motors every 2 or 3 years based on my lease or a purchase or something like that. I would then go in and get a new vehicle. You know why? I'm doing well. Feeling good. All right. I can afford this. And it's not just me. People don't understand. This shit doesn't get pulled out of thin fucking air. I don't hand the money over to God and get a fucking vehicle. It's supporting an industry, which now I can't support because I'm being taxed up my fucking asshole. So I got to hold everything back.
Here's the audio that really got you going this morning. Obama on the Today Show.
Again, the office is saying that we're going to have higher costs with those bills and a greater deficit. People look at that, Mr. President, people who are paying already high costs for medical care, and they think it's a joke.
Well, wait.
They're paying a lot of money, and they see Congress coming up with legislation that would cost them even more.
Well, no, but I think it's important to not confuse two issues, and that's out-of-pocket costs for individuals versus the long-term unsustainable costs of health care under Medicare and Medicaid and other government programs. Here's what's going on. We have a problem of healthcare inflation generally being out of control. And that's true in the private sector, and that's true in the public sector. And so what we've got to do is we've got to bend the cost curve over the long term.
That's not unreasonable.
That wasn't the clip.
That's not unreasonable.
No, we got a couple more clips here.
Yeah.
Not all of them have been adopted by Congress yet.
But again, not to beat a dead horse here, but again, the Congressional Budget Office is looking at those bills that are out there and saying they do not contain cost. Any one of those bills, would you sign them based on what you see?
Right now, they're not where they need to be. But I promise you, I just met with the Congressional Budget Office today, so I know exactly what they're saying. And what they're saying is that the cost savings that are in those bills right now, some of them may actually work, but they're not enough to offset the additional costs of bringing in 46 million new people to provide.
So they won't work, essentially, in terms of reform.
What they won't do is offset the fact that if you are adding additional people to the system, that's going to cost more.
Yeah.
At least she's asking them real questions.
She's asking them questions.
Mm-hmm. And then finally,
it's costing
One
more.
of the ways to pay for the health care bill is something called a surtax on some of the richest Americans, people who make more than $280,000 a year. I've never heard whether you support that or don't support that. Would you support a surtax?
Right now, the House has put forward a surtax. The Senate Finance Committee is looking at some other options. What I've said is, and I have stuck to this claim, I don't want to see additional tax burdens on people making $250,000 a year or less.
Right.
And by the way, despite all the hue and cry out there about how, Obama's becoming like a tax and spend Democrat, this is what you hear from...
Isn't that what you were saying?
That's what I just said. And of course, he's going to say no. What is he going to say? Yep, that's what I am. Tax and spend Democrat. You got it.
Like a tax and spend Democrat, this is what you hear from the Republicans. The only tax change I've made in the 6 months since I've been here is to cut people's taxes.
But would you support a surtax?
Shut that off. Shut the fuck up. You're lying. You cut taxes on people that don't work. Holy shit. Yeah. Oh, what I've done is cut tax. It's a game of percentages. He can say he cut the taxes on like 90% of the population. Meanwhile, the 10% is the one that's supporting the country. That's where the tax burden is. And 40% of those people never paid taxes before because they fall in a bracket where they don't have to pay taxes. And he gave them a rebate check. So that's his idea of cutting taxes, is taxing the fuck out of the people that are producing and giving it to people that don't pay taxes anyway. Thank you. Good job. Thank you.
Like a tax and spend Democrat, this is what you hear from the Republicans. The only tax change I've made in the 6 months since I've been here is to cut people's taxes.
But would you support a surtax on those people making more than $280,000 a year to help pay for this health care reform?
I think that ultimately what we're going to have is a package which will probably include some additional revenue from well-to-do people.
Well-to-do, he calls them. Well-to-do people.
Well-to-do. What an old lady he sounds like.
Let me also add another thing.
He is a square.
He is a nerd.
To people that love thinking that I fucking light cigars with $100 bills and shit like that. I am in a fucking career that can end at any moment. This radio business is fucking shit. It's a very difficult business to keep yourself in, especially the type of radio we do, and with the rules and regulations the way they are.
Lousy.
So if I'm so thank you. If I'm so well to do, you know what though? Next year might not be as well to do. I like being able to have my money and know what I can do with it, how much I can spend, being responsible with the income I've made from the fruits of my labor. Instead of having to worry that I'm going to hand out my money to people that I don't know what the fuck they're doing, all right? Some I do understand. They're falling on hard times, whatever the fuck. Not my responsibility. Not my fucking problem. You know my taxes? You know what I want my taxes to go to? Nice, smooth Northern State Parkway. I love that Northern State Parkway is so fucking smooth when I drive on it. It's like velvet. That's what I want to fucking pay my taxes for.
Most of the roads suck in this country. They can't even do that right.
Beautiful.
Maybe the one road you drive on. Most of these roads blow.
Do you like that he didn't say
lights.
tax? He didn't say the word tax. He said the word additional revenue for well-to-do people.
Dude, it's another. He's fucking. Read between the lines. Why would this open, honest, transparent presidency? Why would he use a phrase like that when the question was presented to him in will there be a tax? And then he fucking puts it, he says it like that. He words it in political speech that is supposed to throw you off and think, well, obviously he doesn't mean a tax. It's additional revenue for the well-to-do. Well-to-do.
Let's finish up the clip here.
Probably include some additional revenue from well-to-do people, including me and you, who can afford to pay a little bit more so that working families, people who are going to their job every single day, can have a little more security on their health.
So that means yes, Mr. President?
It means that is one option among many, but what levels that's going to be at, where it's pegged at, all those details are still being worked out.
That's the main option, though,
No,
obviously.
and that's already leaked out what it's going to be. And so just don't be honest. She goes, does that mean yes? Well,
I want to keep my
Come on
approval
already.
rating above 40.
Anyone that thinks that he's not a really good politician, though, they
course.
all answer questions the same way.
Stop.
She asked a pretty direct question.
Yep.
And he wouldn't just say yes. Under certain circumstances, I would support that.
Nope.
Not the word yes did not come out of his mouth.
No.
And can I read some instant feedback?
Please.
Next year, tell Crybaby Millionaire to save some money then.
Save some money. That's what I want to do. And that's what I'm doing. And that's why I'm not employing as many people. I'll throw you some phone numbers. Get that guy's info. I'll throw you some phone numbers for carpenters and masons and plumbers and that. And you could call them up and tell them that the Crybaby Millionaire isn't going to be hiring them. And maybe you could throw them a few bucks, you motherfucker.
Anthony, tax those producing. What do you produce? That's Nate in Florida.
I produce jobs for people, idiot. You fucking moron. I produce jobs. I've kept people working for the past year and a half. I've kept people fucking working. What a dumb what a country of fucking dummies. You're fucking all stupid.
We're psychotic. Praise Anthony. You are a voice of reason. We'll throw that one in. But then we go
I wouldn't go that far. I think Anthony's right, but a voice of reason?
Well, then you got Then you got Lou in South Jersey. Anthony, you're a blithering idiot. We're all paying for people without health insurance now. Why the fuck do you think health insurance premiums go up 50% every year? You sound more and more like Howard Stern every day.
Shut the fuck up. I wish I sounded like Howard. Could you deposit this check? It'd be wonderful.
The thing is, I don't mind even paying for people, but I don't like where they're taking the money from. It's like the money already exists, so you don't need to fuck people out of more. Just spend it better what you have.
There you go. Yeah, spend it better.
Yeah, the system's broke.
You don't need to take more.
So why are you looking at us to try to... I mean, they're not even trying to fix the system, by the way. Just patch it up.
Just tax the fuck out of more of the people that are productive, that are producing, that are supplying the jobs for people out there.
Well, this guy, Joe, wants in. Joe in Trenton. Joe?
Hey, how are you guys? How are you, Jimmy?
Hi, Joe.
Hey.
Hi, Joe.
Anthony.
Yeah.
He barely said hi to you.
First, let me say I didn't vote for Obama. I don't like his points of view. I think he's a rookie, a senator who has absolutely no place in the White House.
Mm-hmm.
He's like Anthony said, he's a smooth talker, and he's full of shit. Let's be honest.
Language.
Excuse me. We're on XM, so we can do that.
All right, kidding.
Excuse me, Jimmy. Let me tell you what formula.
I love being able to do it.
Yeah.
Let me say, forget about all the tags you're putting on people, socialists, and using all the political cliches and so forth.
Well, he's doing it, so whatever. Okay.
Well, I mean, you are to a certain extent.
Okay, I'll
Although
whatever.
I agree with you, it is the land of opportunity. It certainly is. I mean, I've worked my ass off for 20 years as a utility worker. I don't have that much to show for it, but let's forget about the tags. It's a humanistic point of view. Yeah. I mean, if you're going to point the finger, let's point the finger at excessive government. Let's say, okay, instead of taxing people, why don't we get together and say, look, you're going to cut your fat.
There you go.
Money. Like Jimmy said.
We were just talking about that. I got no problem with that, Joe.
And that's where I'm at.
Joe, I got no problem with that.
I'm at.
I'm not a Michael Moore fan, but I did watch Sicko, and I'm sure it was slanted in some direction.
You think?
But you know what? It wasn't a complete work of shit that had no accuracy. There were things in that you watch and you go, you know what? Because a lot of insurance companies, who really are the ones responsible for jacking up the rates because of a lot of lawsuits, are kind of vultures.
Yep.
We have, in a way, turned into a country of really, like, who don't give a fuck about each other. And there's a balance between, I'm not going to pick a guy up who's a bum and carry him, and really just telling a working class family to go fuck themselves. There has to be a balance in there somewhere, I think.
Exactly. I mean, you can't choose your station in life when you're born, when you're a child, the innocent child. And Jimmy's right. You know, you have to look at these fat cats and look at the waste and look at our government, how dysfunctional it is, and wonder, when is it going to stop? Is it going to implode eventually? And hopefully, just like the Constitution says, when are we going to rise up and say, wait a minute, this is ridiculous. So why are we putting up with this anymore?
Well, look at what happened. Excuse me, Joe, for 2 seconds. Look at what happened when people did try to rise up and protest the taxes. Yep. They were called racist. They were called hillbillies, out of touch. For some reason, you're not allowed to go out and actually voice a negative opinion about the way the government is spending your money, or else you're a fucking you're crazy. Want to overthrow the government, or if they're black, there's a black president, right. So now you're a racist. They've put you in a position where you can't really rise up.
It's only because it's a black president, Ant. That's why they were called racist, because they had the nerve to question the policy of a black president.
Of a black president. Exactly.
How long do you think it's going to be before we get to a point where the people aren't going to start questioning each other? Do you think we're going to get to a point? I'm really interested in what Anthony has said about this. Do you think we're going to get to a point where people are actually going to rise up, where there's going to be an implosion, where government is just going to fail to the point where people say, you know what, I'm tired of eating dirt, I'm tired of not having health care, and I know the money's there. If you watch TV, I see these senators and everyone wearing $1,000 suits. Wait a minute.
Giving themselves raises during an economic friggin' earthquake. And they give themselves raises. They're taking, it's like, they're going to try to get this bill in before their summer vacation. These motherfuckers take a summer vacation. Who the hell, who voted on that? What guy that represents you would you then vote for to give him a vacation?
We're not even allowed to take a summer vacation.
These fucking guys.
I think we're allowed to squeeze a weekend. These guys squeeze a whole.
Their session will come back. And, they're just gone. And to take a vacation when the country is in financial turmoil like this is just outrageous. It's not a dopey radio show taking a week off to fucking recharge the batteries. These guys are supposed to represent us, and they are not.
I think if we took a summer vacation, our listeners would survive, but,
survive, they'd be happy.
The citizens of America, they need their government in place, especially during hard times. Yeah. It's the whole thing is a complete joke. That's where I stand. It is. Every one of these politicians is a joke.
Yeah, but it does help to attack back, because it does help, especially what media is now. It's like if you're attacking accurately, people do hear it. I mean, you have to fucking fire back. You have to.
I realize, guys, just last thing. I realize, our forefathers were the majority of the forefathers were wealthy white landowners.
Slave owners, fuck them too.
Okay, you know what? But their point of view, their actual reasoning for the development of our country, was altruistic. It was real.
It was, you know what, though, dude? And look, of course I love this country, but we have to be very honest and realistic when we look at I've had enough of the forefathers. A lot of them, I'm sure, are very good people, and a lot of them were really just fucking pricks. Let's be very honest. They weren't out for the regular guy, dude.
Books are just books, rewritten, and eventually, some guy who most likely was an asshole slave owner is all of a sudden this hero, and I believe that. We all know that. We know people as they are.
Yeah, a lot of them were asshole slave owners.
I feel like instead of labeling things, we really should look at where the source of all these problems is, and that's our goddamn piece of shit government.
Well, that's part of it too. But you have to look at it too, like. it is easy to blame the government because they are the quote-unquote machine. But you know what? The government is not the one filing the frivolous lawsuits. I mean, it really is. Carlin had a brilliant line. He was talking about people in the government. He goes, that's the best we have to offer. Garbage in, garbage out. And you know what? The government really is a reflection. It's not these awful people reflecting wonderful Americans. We really are self-centered and greedy in a lot of ways.
But the whole thing of them representing the American people has just turned into something completely different.
Yeah.
They do not represent. When you look at what your politicians are doing, you cannot figure out who they're representing. It's not the masses. Like, who votes for those things? You look at a bill and go, that isn't representing me. That isn't representing another guy that's working for a living, middle class, lower class. It's representing that motherfucker that's writing the bill and getting him reelected or getting him more money or getting him favors from another place. That has to stop.
But one thing is, how do you, as a politician, how do you do it right? Because, like, look at the radio show. They're pretty much, majority of them listen to your fans. Like, you say they're all Democrats or all Republicans. Half of them hate every bit we do.
Oh, exactly.
Half of them love it. It's almost like, how do you represent people when everybody is so completely, even people on your side are so completely fucking different?
Well, that's just it. I guess you're probably trying to represent the majority of your constituency, but from what I see, they're not even representing that. Like, you read some things that get passed and you go, no one would vote for that. No one's going to vote for more money for my representative. No one's going to fucking say, I agree with that.
We got Patrice on the line. Patrice Oneal, everyone. What's up, Patrice?
Hi, Patrice.
Hey, good morning.
My co-star in the new upcoming film. Hi, Patrice.
Well, I'm keeping that on the L there, buddy. You never know. So, I called to say that I agree with Anthony.
Thank you, sir.
Almost 100%, but the problem is, the two things. One is that this is not about money, because money, they just printing money. They're printing up, $780 billion here and there. And what they're doing is, it's easy to attack people that the masses don't care about, or they hate, which is the rich. But it's just to keep them off focus, where this particular government right now is trying to take over industry. They take over the cars, they're taking over houses, they're taking over health insurance, man. Taking over health insurance has nothing to do with money. It has something to do with people. They trying to clear people out of here, man. They trying to let you see what's happening in England and these countries in Canada. The government decides who lives and who dies, man.
Yeah, exactly.
And
see thank you. You're right.
But hold on. Let me ask you something, Patrice. You're talking about them taking over the industry, and Rush Limbaugh talked about this too. Them taking over the banks. When someone like GM or some company goes, bail us out, and they go to the government with their hat out and they go, give us money, and the government gives them money. And what they do with it is they wind up bonusing, like I think AIG did this. They wind up bonusing their executives, and the public goes, we want these people shot. The government steps in and goes, we'll give you money, but now you have to say...
Let me say this, though, Norton. They bonus dictators when they take over land in other countries. They give money. See, they give money to people that help them out. They give money to dictators who kill their own people and help them sell their own land to the government. That's the same thing they do to GM when these guys help them in this takeover. They go, thanks. It's a kickback, man. They're all in cahoots, man.
Patrice, let me throw this in though, because a lot of people got mad at them bonusing some of the executives in these companies that were bailed out. But let me put it in terms that I think we can understand as a show here at Sirius Satellite Radio that used to be, XM. What if, Opie, they bonused, the satellite industry has gone through some dire straits financially. I don't think it's any secret. What if they bonused Elo to keep him here? And Elo is a very good guy, man, very good for the job, but he was offered a better job, a higher paying job with more security.
Right.
Now, they were saying they're bonusing some of these executives because they're going to fucking leave and leave a void of management whether it's good or bad, I have no idea. But this void of management that they can't afford to just lose and have to find new guys. I would rather them have paid Elo more money.
Sure.
And given him job security to keep him here.
Well, we also know that most of the management in the radio industry, they're shit.
But I mean, that though was their excuse.
Right,
I'll say excuse because I don't know if it was.
I don't know that industry enough. They're going to lose some very important people.
I don't know the industry enough to know whether it's a good or bad thing.
We could talk for the radio world,
but yeah, that would have been good.
I would love to see half of management be kicked out the door in their big salaries,
especially bring in radio
at the old place.
Exactly.
But especially at the old place.
That's not simple. That's not simple enough for what's going on. The reason it's easy. It's the Robin Hood thing. You need the masses. You need a majority of the people to support what you do and to support taking over an industry.
Mm-hmm.
What they did is they go, we're going to get these rich assholes so that the people that's walking around that really don't look further into what's happening go good. And they just look at it like robbing from the rich to help everyone. People are saying socialism, man, but this is close to something else. I get nervous to say it publicly, but it ain't just socialism.
But the whole planet was the whole planet was in the economic toilet. And what happens is a GM really was, or all these other places were in deep financial trouble. Factories were closing, people are getting laid off. The reality is it was happening.
But is the answer a government then taking over and owning a majority share in this company?
What's the option, though?
The option is you let them fold, and then another industry comes from that vacuum.
Then people can't complain. Okay, fair enough. But then people who are auto workers who can't complain that all of a sudden 50,000 of them are out of work and have nothing.
Well, then let them talk to their union delegate and say, why am I out of a fucking job now? Well, because you demanded fucking $90 an hour to stand and work a fucking spot welding machine.
It's all horseshit, though. If they said to you, this is, 80%, I'm just making up a number, but how many people do you think would think the economy was better if someone told them it was? If they got on the news and said the economy is better, most people would spend money because they was told that.
You're right.
As smart as you
He's right.
think they are, man.
Yep. No, believe me, I know how stupid people are, and they're sheep. And you're absolutely right. And to panic on the news sells a lot better. So to make it seem like, oh my God, we're on the brink of disaster. There's worldwide financial trouble. But things are actually starting to bottom out, as they say, turn around. And I think we're not seeing the same, the news really pounding the fact home that, oh my God, we're in dire straits. And people are kind of spending a little more money.
And Anthony, you said the unions, and look, the unions overextend sometimes. Yeah, but the unions' argument would be, look, we have taken pay cuts. They have at times taken pay cuts, and what they say is, who is telling executives to take pay cuts? Nobody. So here, the union takes a certain hit, and then meanwhile, these scumbag executives are bonusing each other. So then the government steps in and goes, if you want more of our money, you're not going to bonus it.
Well, then let me answer that one. Then the same thing. It doesn't matter if it's the executives or the workers and their union. Too much money goes out. The government doesn't step in, and the company fucking folds. And then another company comes out of it that goes, all right, we can do this cheaper and better and here, so let's fucking do it this way. Mm-hmm. And perhaps they should be given tax breaks. But instead, you're right.
Over industries one by one.
Yeah, but instead of letting the company fold and then letting the private sector business step in and fill that void with another company employing people starting from scratch, the government steps in and owns the company. Well, that's insanity.
The government didn't do it by force.
Anthony, the void is because, look, let's say that they let that happen, and some other guy has a better product. But as long as they're telling everybody, all right, that you have no money, they're telling us that we have no money, all they got to do is now take over whatever the industry they want to and then go, hey, we got money. That's it.
It's completely acceptable now. You're right. It's completely acceptable now. The government has made it where people don't get surprised that they now are owning private fucking companies.
But the government's not running. The government's not running in and taking over these things. People are going to them begging for money.
But they're giving it to them. Companies have begged for government bailout money for years. Look at Chrysler. Years ago, when Iacocca was in charge, he went to the government. The government gave him money. He paid the government back with interest. It was a loan. This government is coming in and actually taking part ownership in the company.
Didn't they give money to, like, I think it was AIG?
Yeah.
They gave money to AIG. And what AIG did was the amount of money that those motherfuckers and I mean, I understand keeping a guy like Elo.
No, you're right.
But it was disgusting. And the people were like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
so then the government's like, okay, well, if you want more money, this is how it has to be because you cannot be trusted to behave honorably. There's a balance here. The government is not... I don't want them running everything.
You're giving them a lot more credit as being just we were put in this position where we had to do this. It's a very calculated move based on opportunity. There was an opportunity that they saw and went like, wow, we can start scooping up these companies. And the government running a publicly traded company is crazy.
The plan for all of this is sticking it to people with money. Like, that's the front.
Right. That's
we're going to get you, rich people.
Right, and everyone can get behind that.
Can go, yay!
Right.
But now, when you get this public health care, look, our health care system is an unfair system, too. But what it does is it allows you to live if you have the ability to live. A government-controlled health care system they equate whether you're worth keeping alive.
If there's some Indian kid that's born with another kid attached at the asshole, they don't fly to fucking, Romania to get him cut in half. They always wind up coming to the United States. Heart problems. They come to the United States. A child has a brain tumor. They come to the United States. You know why? We have very good health care here if you can afford it. There are varying levels of health care, and you are guaranteed the right to health care in an emergency room. In those circumstances, if you go in, it's not going to be, man. It's not going to be free.
Absolutely, dude.
You might, but
I mean, I used to think, hey, my mind moved to a different point of view, man, and it's not because I give a shit about rich people's pockets. It's the government controlling everything bugs me. This is not, they're printing fake money. Money means nothing. You think 5% of somebody's shitty $300,000 helps? Fuck no. It's just taking over, man. Anyway, thanks, fellas.
Right on, Patrice.
Hey, thanks for calling, man.
Great phone call. Patrice Oneal, everyone.
Yeah, but it's also, it's like this, we have this thing to look at the government like it's this brilliant calculating, organism, and at times, maybe it's sneaky and shitty, but the bottom line is certain members of society have been proven that left to their own devices, they behave like absolute scumbags, and they don't honor what they said they were going to honor, and they become pieces of shit. And it's like, people who have no health care, I don't want to see people who are broke left out in the cold with nothing. I'm not a socialist, but I also don't want to see, especially when I see all this money being wasted in the war, or I see all this money being wasted.
Exactly, yeah.
So the system has to be fixed. I don't want to see some fucking one taking their kid to the emergency room, or someone just going for regular checkups that can't get it because they have no money.
Well, then go for the fucking hard fix and fix the actual problem instead of the easy fix, which is pit everybody against this evil well-to-do and tax the fuck out of them again. And Patrice is saying, the government printing up money, they're doing that. So could I ask them, could you just print up the share that I'm supposed to give in and just print that shit
throw it in the pot.
So I don't have to fucking give it in. And somebody, I'm reading down here in the feedback, basic health care is a basic human right. And I was saying that if you can afford it, it's not a right of this country. There's no right to health care. I'm sorry. And there's no right that says that people that make a certain amount of money have to pay for people's health care. I'm sorry. I think, and like I said before, by employing people, by spending my money and employing people, they can then have a better chance at affording health insurance. I'd rather do it that way. I'm getting something out of it. I'm getting a worker that is coming to my house, performing a service. I then pay him money. He can then use that money to support his family, to pay his health care, and do other things. And then other people that can pay for employees do the same, and you get enough of that going on. It's called capitalism.
And that's a very good point you're making, because I think a lot of people are focused on the fact that you're doing a boo-hoo today.
Of course.
Poor me, Anthony Cumia. But
not the fucking
that
case.
is a very, very important point right there.
I've reached a point in my life where I employ people. I give people money in exchange for services. I don't give people money for fucking charity, although I do at times, of my choosing and what I deem worthy of my charity.
Let me read a couple instant feedbacks. I make $90,000 a year driving a truck. I pay $35,000 in taxes. This is something that is lost in this whole discussion, by the way. It's not just over $250,000 being raped by the government. See, in his world, he makes 90. He's paying 35.
Right.
That's killing him.
That's a huge percentage.
That's
killing him.
That's over 40% of his money.
Huge percentage.
And now we're up to a point where if you're making over $250,000, you're now giving a 60-40 split with the government.
You're going to
where you pay the 60. Yeah.
The problem is the money they have, they're wasting. They're wasting it.
The system's been broke for many fucking years.
But it's like we get mad at poor people like who want health care, who really aren't leeches or pieces of shit. It's almost like we have now focused on them and go, fuck them, they're leeches. But a lot of them really just can't afford it. It's like the focus should be on the fucking mismanagement of money the government already does have. Not the people who need health care.
The government failed those people a long fucking time ago.
Let me tell you another thing, though.
Time ago.
Just like there is waste in the government, and just like the insurance companies like to pretty much extort money out of people, and just like the lawyers like to grab onto these lawsuits that make it so the insurance companies now have to charge a lot of money because they're being sued every fucking minute by these shyster lawyers.
Members of the public, yeah.
There are also people that are don't have health insurance because they're fucking living beyond their means.
Of course.
They're living beyond their fucking means. I saw a video yesterday of a grocery store in Detroit at the first of the month when the food stamps come in. And holy mother of fuck. These people came in complaining that they can't feed their kids. One woman had, I believe, 6 children. And she said, I can't feed my children. And she goes, I don't eat so I could feed my children. This woman was 230. She ought to be 230 fucking pounds.
With 6 kids.
Fuck you, you don't eat. And then there was another woman with these giant earrings and very nice fitting yellow suit jacket. And there she is with a pile of groceries in the fucking cart and on the government till and bitching about it.
That is annoying. That's annoying.
Fucking annoying.
But look at what happens when the government gave money to these companies and the amount of money that they fucking just handed out to people who didn't deserve it. To people who had fucking
Armani. Dude, she's wearing an Armani shirt.
It's probably a bootleg.
Whatever. You know something? It puts across a bad image.
You're right. It is annoying.
Said she isn't eating because her kids eat. Look at her.
It's annoying.
Get out of here.
But she,
Look
to
at
me,
this fat fuck.
She's not the problem. She's annoying and she's a problem.
She's part of the problem.
But she's not
part of the problem.
Part of it, but not the main part of it.
I don't want to pay for that.
I agree, but I don't want to pay for I don't want to see the government giving money to a company who is bonusing these fucking scumbags who refuse to give the money back. The company takes a bath, and these bags of shit are still getting bonus because we see how management works. Yeah. They never fire each other.
That is a huge problem.
It's a much bigger problem than that fucking dumb bitch.
I don't know if it's much bigger.
I think so.
It's huge. But that is also huge. Oh, get to the part where the guy with the fucking $200 sneakers is asking the cameraman for fucking money. It's a hoot. It's a hoot.
You don't get penalized for being irresponsible in this country.
No,
you're allowed to have as many kids as you want.
You can do whatever the fuck you want.
And then we have to pay for your kids.
Stop with the
somewhere
fucking
along the
6,
line,
7, 8
right?
kids.
Somewhere along the line, you have to take responsibility for your situation. It's unfucking believable.
Poor Michael Jordan's on food stamps, and he doesn't even look good anymore. This guy, Michael Jordan, here he is. Listen to this guy.
How long do they last you?
I'll say a month, about 3 weeks.
What do you do that last week?
We got the much. We got to eat these noodles. That's why we get a lot of noodles. We got to get a lot of oodles and noodles.
So the beginning of the month is meat, the end of the month is noodles?
Yep.
Look at
Every
the
month
bacon.
is like that?
Look at this shitload of bacon in the front of that
worse
fucking
now than it
cart.
used to be?
Dude, I can buy whatever I want at the grocery
So how
store.
often
I've
are
never
you
had a
eating
shopping cart that full in my life. I swear to God, that is like, holy shit.
Wow.
That's irresponsibility right there.
So that's exactly what I was thinking. And the comments on the video I was reading is like, I have never had a shopping cart that full in my life.
I went shopping yesterday. It was maybe a quarter of a shopping cart.
Yeah, but because there's fucking like that 6, 7, 8 kids a clip to these families, yeah, they run out of fucking money and food. You're being irresponsible. You're living beyond your means by having too many fucking kids.
And I'm with you where you say, you know, that some people are down on their luck and those people should be helped. But then there's the other side of this where this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Why do we have to bring these people up that aren't even responsible enough with what's going on in their lives? A couple more instant feedbacks. Greg and Tony in Hop Hog.
Oh.
I make $42,000 on Long Island. His 60-40 makes me not want to make $250,000.
Yeah, right.
So here's another side of this. So there's people coming up. They're like, why bother?
Well,
why would I want to make more money if I'm just going to get taxed on it?
And that is an exact a problem that happened in the Soviet Union. There was no incentive. There has to be an incentive to succeed in this country for continued success.
Incentive is very
continued success. I realized I said that right when I said it.
Incentive is very, very important.
Incentive.
That's a very, very important word.
You don't want to be villainized. You don't want to be penalized by becoming what this country was built on. And it takes away the ambition of people to want to get to that point.
Carolina man, South Carolina. I hate to say it, but it's true. Anna's right. I voted as you did. I didn't vote, by the way. I have no problem saying that because I believe in the George Carlin line about what was it again?
I'm dead.
I'm part of
the shit.
He's saying I don't vote. He goes because you didn't vote. You have no right to. He goes, I do have the right to complain because I'm not part of the problem. I didn't contribute to it.
Yeah, there you go.
Although I love Carlin, but I didn't vote because I'm lazy. That's why I didn't vote.
That is funny,
that the reason you?
Of course it is. We have a civic responsibility to vote. I firmly believe that, and I'm lazy.
I just think it's the same shit every 4 years. To be honest with you,
it is. We should vote independent.
More or less. I voted as you did, and now as my wife and I are about to be considered rich. Quotation marks. Go figure. We were house shopping and car shopping, but not anymore.
Yeah, that's what it is.
I think you're talking more for the people today, Ant, that are below you, for real.
People don't understand that.
I mean,
I'm
you're
not
frustrated, and you should be, but in the end, you're going to be okay. But what you're making a very good. Yeah, you're making a very good point for the people definitely below you. That's where it's going to really, you're going to see the difference.
That's who gets affected, and people don't realize this. And I said this, dude, I was saying this before the election. People don't understand that these well-to-do that Obama is talking about are going to hold back money to see how badly they're going to be raped, and they are the ones paying people. I'm not talking about goods dropping out of the sky and landing in my driveway, in my backyard, shit like that. I pay for this. I employ people. I don't fucking put the shit in myself. And even if I did, I'd be paying people at like Home Depot and Lowe's and things like that. It makes jobs.
Yeah. Let's go to Andrew in Brooklyn. The Andrew, Space Shuttle Endeavor.
Oh.
Andrew. What's up, Andrew?
Something I got to quickly tell you about the health care, nationalized health care. You know, in some of these countries of nationalized health care, they actually ban you from getting certain life-saving medications. They actually ban you from it.
So you're actually for health care being nationalized?
No.
What do you think should happen?
It's not a good endeavor?
Keep health care the way it is. It's I don't want it nationalized. I'm fine with it.
Well, there's a balance, Andrew. I think there's a balance. Like, again, I keep saying that dumb word, but it's like we're just a bunch of extreme asses as Americans. It's like I don't want a nationalized system where I have to go to the government to get my fucking tonsils looked at. But I don't like the fact that all the money we waste for giving foreign debt and handing it over to fucking people who vote the way we think they should vote in other countries.
That's where they should be focused
That's where the money
on.
should come from.
That's so obvious to a lot of people, but for some reason they just look the other way as far as all that stuff goes.
They try to take it from people, right?
Hey, they can find money if they really wanted to.
Andrew,
Are you kidding me?
Andrew, Can I ask you something? Because I know
healthcare works fine.
Right. Yeah. Andrew, can I ask you something? It's a little off topic, but I just need to know real quick. I don't know which even shuttle is up. What shuttle is up at the station right now?
Endeavor, basically. That's it.
Which one?
Which one?
Endeavor, that's it.
I didn't hear you. Which? Okay, later. He doesn't fall for it anymore.
He doesn't want to deal with that.
Basically.
He actually wants to have like normal discussions.
I know.
With us now.
All we want to hear is him say,
"Why don't we let him have a normal phone call with us?"
Special Endeavor.
He's been
for
hanging
marriage. 6 month delayed diagnosis. Here's a spot that's running. It's a Canadian woman talking about nationalized health care in Canada. She had a brain tumor. She was on a 6 month waiting list. She had to come down to the United States and have it operated on, and she said she would have been dead. She would have been dead. It's like Ted Kennedy. Would have been dead. A lot of these people have to wait.
But, Anthony, that's just one isolated case.
Well, of course it is.
All right.
Yeah.
The thing is,
we got a guy coming in, actually, that's going to debate Anthony on...
And Mr. Canada is just shaking his head.
We got a guy that's coming in that's going to debate Anthony on health care.
Well,
What's his name, Dr. Carroll?
Just play the tape from this morning, and I'll just go home, and he could debate the tape.
But wait, something like that, like people having to wait for health care. If you're paying into it and you have your own health care, why would everybody be forced to do that? Like, I don't mind that if that's the option for somebody who has no health care at all. I'm for that. I don't want the entire system changed, but people who can't afford it, that's the problem I have.
There is something in the bill that does call for the elimination of you being able to actually pay for your own health care. And Obama said, I don't know all the ins and outs of the bill, which is really kind of frightening. But, yeah, that would never go through. I understand that.
Anthony, Joe Silver in Jersey makes a very good point, even though I've never seen the instant feedback hotter or the phones ring more.
Oh, my God.
He writes, because he knows, go back to talking about tits and internet videos. Anthony going off on his fascist rants are the worst part of the show.
Thank you, by the way. Thank you. I take that as a compliment.
And then he goes, guest on Glenn Beck or some shit like that if you want to bitch. As everybody is calling, because this does affect everybody.
It affects everybody.
Let's say hi to Jose in Queens. Jose.
People.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey, Jose.
Listen, I want to touch back on what Anthony was saying about the grocery shopping.
Yeah.
Now, I work every day. I install elevators in the city, and I bust my ass.
Yep. That industry's up and down.
Actually, it's pretty good.
God.
I like it for the way you meant it.
That sure plummeted down the elevator shaft.
Go ahead, Jose. So you work your ass off. You're in the elevator industry. What's up?
Yeah, right. I got 3 kids to feed. I work. I do what I have to do. I go grocery shopping. Now, this is during the wintertime, and this pisses me off every time I think about it. I'm in the supermarket. This lady pulls up. She's got 2 fucking shopping carts full to the gills. So she's got 4 kids, and she's pregnant. And she pulls out a fucking WIC card. I wanted to tell her, you should say thank you to me and every other hardworking guy in the fucking city. You know?
Yeah, a lot of people get infuriated by that.
There's an overindulgence that happens that I just don't understand. I was brought up legitimately poor. I mean, I've told a bunch of the stories on the air. And I'm one of 7 kids. Not one of us was overweight because we couldn't afford to eat.
With a little rail.
I was like the kid that had the shit that after everybody was done wearing it.
Right.
Yeah, and now I got it. You know what I mean?
And we were just above like the whole food stamp thing. Above. We would have been better off if we were poorer.
Exactly.
For real. So my dad and my mom just said, you know what, fuck it. We're not working anymore because we could probably raise you better if we're poor.
If we're just poor. My mother did the same thing. To raise 3 kids, single mom. And, we always had a roof over our head. She worked her ass off and always had food, things like that. And it was, because she fucking went out and worked like 2 jobs and knew what she had to do, knew her responsibility.
There is a point where you have to take responsibility for what's going on in your own life.
I understand the high.
I mean, we went through stages where we weren't sure if we were going to have electricity the next month, and we weren't sure if we were going to have enough food to eat for real. And then my dad would hit because he was kind of like an entrepreneur, and then he would do well, and then we did okay for a while, and then the money would trickle out, and then next thing you know, we're wondering, what bills weren't going to be paid and how that was going to affect us.
I want to read another thing from this idiot. There's a lot of little companies that are staying alive from the Obama money. What, lemonade stands? Because the little companies, I am a little company, idiot. Do you realize I'm a small business?
I'm a small business.
I'm a small business.
And we have a business together, too.
Yes, and with that we do. And we employ people. And I just told you something. You say there's a lot of little companies staying alive from the Obama money. Well, let me tell you something. I'm not spending money hiring people now. So in order to keep my company alive, I've had to pull back and not spend as much money on workers. So how is that helping that guy's company, that guy's little company, his carpentry company, his woodworking company, masonry, plumbing? How is that helping? How is Obama's plan helping those companies by me and other people like me not paying them and not hiring them? You're talking out your asshole.
And Brad in Minneapolis, he writes boring. How about you play some commercials?
Attaboy, Brad.
Wow. People want to hear commercials?
Does this look boring? Do I have to tweet the phones and the stack of instant feedback that I'll never get to?
You're going to get one or two people that
do I have to tweet this?
They're just fucking jerking off all day long like monkeys. Just sitting there jerking off. We'll talk about a tit.
Why didn't that guy call in?
And by the way, it's a very small
I think he did.
I don't know if he...
I think he tried. I saw his name up there.
They can't get in.
I know.
I got to keep hanging up on people.
Get his number.
I've been hanging up on people, and then people take their place immediately. By the way, that's a small percentage of the people. I don't want to misrepresent.
Of course.
Most people are way in as far as what we're discussing right now. Keith in Jersey, Niagara Falls, excuse me, he writes, "Oh, well, time to walk my dog. This is shit." Let me say hi to Mike in, where are you, Mike?
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 Good morning, boys. I'm up in Haverhill, Mass. And you know what fucking drives me insane is the amount of money and the amount of housing we have in Haverhill, Mass. I drive through those places, they're giant. And every one of them has friggin' Escalades and Mercedes and Beamers and 4 fucking kids. And I work my ass making $45,000 a year. And these guys are killing me with their fucking gold rings and their fucking jewelry and their Escalades. Fucking with 24-inch rims.
All right, we got you.
Them houses and money when this shit happens. Where's the overseer in that shit?
Yeah, well.
Oh, fuck. All right, boys, I'm out. That just drives me insane.
Good description of Haverhill.
All right, well, I mean... The phones are just lit, but I guess we got to take a break. We can continue.
And Doug from Charleston, I just saw that highlighted. It is true.
Let me go to it then.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Hi, Doug. What's up, man?
Hey, how's it going?
Hi.
I saw your...
I was saying the reason why there is a summer break is because senators and the House people were supposed to have fucking jobs. That's how the country was founded.
Oh, you know something? Yeah.
Wait, what happened?
That is true. They were supposed to, take care of their farms and
crops, right?
Their crops and shit like that.
Wouldn't it be pretty much when you're bringing in the crops?
Yeah. So they take their break.
So when the world developed or the country developed, they ignored the fact that you don't need to take that time off anymore.
Exactly.
Brilliant.
Exactly.
Who wouldn't do that though?
And originally the Senate was supposed to be appointed by the state, so that way you would have a direct state representation.
Yeah, you just
now
don't
basically
have that.
We have 2 houses. It's all crap.
Yeah, you're right.
So.
But I like your point though. Where in the Constitution does it say we need to take care of?
It doesn't say it anywhere. I mean, this whole feel-good attitude that Jimmy got, I mean, that's okay.
Dude, it's not, hold on. It's not a fucking feel-good attitude that Jimmy got. It's not about that. It's about, I don't like to see the fucking, the money just wasted. And I'm not, believe me, I'm not a particularly liberal guy. But I don't like seeing money wasted.
Feel-good attitude, though,
I just don't like seeing people who can't afford to fucking get taken care of. And meanwhile, I see our government forgiving foreign debt and giving money to other countries because they make a decision to do something that we ask them to do foreign policy. You know what I mean? That sickens me.
Jimmy's right.
People that need help, make it in this country. I grew up in a podunk place in West Virginia. I joined the Navy, put myself through college, and now I'm doing well.
There you go.
Good. Dude, fair enough.
Them cry to me, they can kiss my ass and just starve to death.
But there's a balance between, okay, well then, so you joined a fucking organization where you're probably going to have to go, you could possibly have to go and fight to the death for people, and then you go, fuck them. I mean, it doesn't make sense, that attitude, dude. It doesn't make sense.
Hey, look, I'm not saying it's the easy road, but I'm saying it's a road people can take.
I'm not saying... Right.
I mean, and we're already helping bring people up. Now it's getting to the point where, once again, there's a possibility that there's going to be a 60-40 split with the government, and we pay the 60.
To bring people up again.
We're already bringing people up.
I know, that was the whole selling point the first time around. So then you have to go to where Jimmy's at and where I'm at, and you got to start looking where all this fucking money's going and how to bring some of that money back and use it for something else. Where's the next time? Where's the next time they're going to dig into our pocket, too? Think about it. When is the next time?
Well, how about the Navy guy? How about people coming back from Desert Storm, soldiers who weren't getting proper medical care?
That's bullshit.
I mean, but
well, as far as the VA goes, I'm all on board.
Right. I'm completely on board to taking care of them.
But they put in. No. You're not. What I'm saying is, dude. What I'm saying is, even they weren't taken care of.
Oh, I know.
It's gotten so despicable in this country. Even the fucking veterans, guys who are fighting, weren't taken care of. It's fucking despicable. The money we give is being wasted. I don't want to give any more. I pay enough in taxes.
You're right. The thing is, and I understand what he was saying, though, is and I keep reiterating this, this country is the land of opportunity, not guarantees. And there's this sense of entitlement that people have that they actually believe that it is because people are dummies that have no idea what this country is founded on, is built on, what the Constitution is, what is in it, and actually believe that there is a right to health care and to that, and if they don't have it, that it should be supplied to them by the government, which in fact is us. It's the tax-paying people. It's not in there.
But how come we're not as mad at money being wasted? And again, I'm not at money being wasted on the war.
I think we are.
We are. But what do you do about it? There's nothing you can do about it. You can't rise up or getting shit done in this country.
You can, though. You can't just sit there and we can't do anything. We can either vote or complain about it. I mean, you have to talk about it. You can't.
Exactly.
We're not just eunuchs.
I see the same shit happening year after year after year, and we're voting and yelling and screaming.
But we need to vote for a third party then.
They probably laugh at us when we try to rise up. They laugh at us.
At you.
I'll go, oh, that's cute.
What, sir?
I think the problem is we establish a precedent, with welfare and other stuff that people are just going to be, taken care of.
That's a
talk about a good social experiment. Welfare is that. Name one person that comes out of welfare and thanks welfare for where they're at today.
There are. You're right. Well, yeah. The welfare system is not a good system. But I'm not talking about, hey, let's just keep giving people money to people who have 8 kids.
It's coming back, too, by the way, welfare. They're raising that up for the first time in probably, I think...
Well, like you said, let the companies close. Hey, let GM fold. And then all those people, what are they going to... What is a guy who's, spent the last 10 years working hard and being a fair, fucking honest tax-paying guy? These companies just shut down. A company like GM that employs that many people, where are all? There are very little jobs. So I guess all of those people are supposed to sit around and go, "Well, we have to wait till something else crops up." Here's going to crop up. More Japanese companies who are doing the labor for shit are just going to have the. It's like, what do you do?
How about you get General Motors, who, by the way, a lot of these companies during the war were able to turn around in no time and retool their plants to make fucking tanks. Which is amazing to me.
Sure.
They're making cars. All of a sudden, they're making tanks. That was the go-get-'em spirit.
Right.
How about you turn around and you turn your company into a wind turbine fucking manufacturing plant? Things like that. Something that actually has a need, fills that void that was left when the company folded. Builds a city back up with industry, shit like that.
Because all those contracts have probably been given out. Like all the first of all, we don't use tanks like we used to. It's mostly.
I was just making a point that it can be done. You can turn a company around. A General Motors wasn't making a lot of cars at that point. They turned around and were there for the military.
But the labor force, it's hard with labor force because a lot of jobs are lost because of computers and technology, things that really have nothing to do with people. A computer can do what 500 people can do. It's like, what do you do for the labor force that's just lost? It's like, it's easy to go, well, fuck them, they have to find something else, but it does hurt the economy and it does hurt us as a country with guys who work for 10 years on an auto line who are great at that. It's like, what do they do if the company just fucking falls apart?
But the government isn't fostering these new industries and new companies to come up and you know, give them the tax breaks so they can build these plants and retool these plants of outdated products. And then you know, you got a city like Detroit that is just fucked now. Yeah. The auto industry has been the backbone of Detroit for, I mean, as long as anyone can remember. Sure. That's over. That's over. So now figure out what else to do. Don't just sit there and put your hand out. And I'm not talking about the people. I'm talking about the companies. Don't just sit there and put your fucking hand out. Think. Have an executive that comes up with a fucking idea that goes, we need to now do this.
You make enough money.
It's
now
a drastic change. Let's do this. Then we can hire people, bring back a city with a brand new industry.
But the executives were there, and they didn't do that.
Exactly. You're right.
The executives paid each other big bonuses and watched people losing their jobs. And some of those people you see on food stamps are fucking leeches. And other ones, you know what, are probably ex-auto workers or people who did work.
Right. Oh, yeah. Well, that's what, what Anthony was making that
generalizing
point.
Everybody.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, that's what's frustrating. It's like, and I'm not saying, man, the rich people are terrible, but it's like, after watching what's happened in the last year,
but the headline
does disgust me.
The headline is enough is enough. I mean, you understand you got to help some people if you're in a position where you're making a lot of money and doing very well. I understand that.
Get the fuck out of my pocket.
It's like enough. We're to the point today. Enough is enough.
That's it.
I feel that way.
A 60-40 split is so ridiculous.
You're right, but I feel that way about the bonuses that were paid out.
So ridiculous.
All this money was given to these companies, and these scumbags just gave it to each other. They're no different than radio executives or anything else.
You're right.
We gave them fucking millions of dollars of our money. Well, the money we look at, we can play, oh, look at that bitch, she's got too much bling on. But the bottom line is, that fucking bitch isn't taking $75 million in bonuses in a company that went into the toilet and begged for government money.
But there's 75 million of her.
It's the same person, though.
But that,
it's
to me,
she's fucking person.
They're annoying.
Really
it's the same person. It's people that take advantage of the situation.
Taking advantage is one thing.
She was taking advantage. That was ridiculous.
But she's not a fucking predator like these fucking guys who know the way the system works and are milking the system on purpose for millions of dollars.
People know how the system works, and they're taking advantage of what's being handed to them as well.
Yeah, but I don't look at somebody on welfare the same way as I do somebody that fucking got paid $40 million extra in a company that is begging the government for more. It makes me fucking sick.
Let's go to Mike. Mike,
multifaceted problem, Jimmy.
Yeah.
How you doing, guys?
Hi, Mike.
The show. Listen, I'm an intern at a hospital in the South Bronx, one of the poorest congressional districts in the country. And Jimmy, I'm a big fan of yours, pal. You're definitely on target with some things, but Anthony's 100% right. You have to go into these poorer, so-called poorer neighborhoods. I mean, people are wearing Rolex watches, driving Escalades.
You're not. No, hold on, dude. I'm not disagreeing with that. I don't think. I'm not some flaming liberal who thinks poor people are just victims. I'm not talking about disgusting abuses of the system like that. I'm not talking about that.
But the abuses of the system more outweigh the likelihood of people getting appropriate benefits. I have 14-year-old kids that are pregnant. I have a woman that's actually on her 12th child, and she's in her late 30s.
That's terrible. It's disgusting. Of course it's disgusting. How am I wrong about anything? I'm not saying that that's right. That's sickening.
But Jimmy, just let me also explain that this welfare and WellCare, I'm writing prescriptions for Tylenol because people don't want to pay $3.95
for a bottle of fucking Tylenol. Hanger tax. That's what I'll pay. A hanger tax.
So, all right. So, what's the answer then?
Anthony, I'm with you, but Vinny,
dude, slow down.
I just want to say,
what's the answer?
People are so used to getting things for free. It is expected now.
What is? Yes, you know what, dude?
I believe
I don't disagree with you.
To a point.
I do too. However, there are other people on the flip side that are used to getting $30 million extra a year, and then when the company goes in the toilet, they still want $30 million extra.
Right.
And those people lately, hold on, dude, hold on. I am more frustrated with them as of late, because I think that the people who want you to write a prescription for Tylenol, who leech off the system, are irritating and annoying. But the people who are taking $30 million extra, those are the people I like to see attacked with fucking rifle butts. What do you suggest? What do you suggest? What do you suggest?
Can I ask you one question?
No, I would like to know what you suggest.
Why was that money given without restriction? How come you're able to restrict cigarettes to $11 a pack, and you're handing money out in buckets to these executives?
What do you mean?
The government, why was it given out like that?
Billions of dollars given
Exactly.
to the auto industry without restriction, as far as they were able to give a $30 million bonus to one individual. And I want to ask you one other thing.
Hold on, can I answer one at a time? Because you're on a roll. One at a time. I think the reason that was done is because there's a flaw in the system. And I think what happens is if the government steps in and says, we're going to give you money, and this is how you use it, then the government is accused of overly interfering. So what happens is they give the money, the company gives bonuses which outrage everybody, and then we find out they gave out more, and then they come back and ask for more money. And then the government says, we'll give you more money, but we have to dictate how you spend it. So it's like, what's the proper way to do that?
Let me ask you one other question.
Well, I just answered that one.
I'm sorry to keep interrupting. What about tort reform? How about if a doctor performs an illegal operation, is charged criminally instead of civil penalty being awarded?
I agree with both. I think that tort reform is absolutely needed. I think people have to have the right to sue, but I think tort reform is certainly needed. You're not going to get me siding with a bunch of lawyers who are just kicking sand in each other's face. And I think tort reform is absolutely needed, but that's not the entire problem.
But James, just let us remember the first George Bush wanted to put a cap on lawsuits, medical malpractice lawsuits, about 15, 20 years ago.
Yep. Sure.
So this has been a problem since then. And this rushing through of this health care plan by Obama is nothing but a used car salesman's trick. But let's get it quick.
But how am I wrong, dude? I'm not saying that I want that to happen. You think I don't want more of my money taken? I don't want more of my money taken.
Dude, we're not on opposite ends of the spectrum here. We're talking about the same thing. Jimmy's talking about one problem. We're talking about another, but it's all part of the same giant fucking sucking vacuum of money problem that we have in this country.
If they take 40% of my money, whatever they take, 30%,
60.
I would rather, I don't think I pay 60, but whatever they take, if I could choose, I would rather see, if they're going to take it, I would rather see people at least be able to go to the doctor than have it fucking go into a government that is giving it to a company that's just going to vote executives or just going to forgive foreign debt.
Let me tell you something.
Jimmy, let me tell you something. People can go to a doctor now. The emergency room will not turn you away. Now, let me just also emphasize that ambulances, they're called buses in the business, are used as taxi services.
No shit.
Me as an individual, if I would need an ambulance, I would have to pay about $700 out of pocket.
Dude, okay, fair enough. I'm not talking about abuses in the system. Then you have to punish abuses in the system. But because there's abuses in the system, it doesn't mean that most people who probably wouldn't abuse the system shouldn't be taken care of. It's like saying there's abuses in the legal system, so you can't have jails. It's like just because there's abuse... What?
Could I ask you one more question?
Yes, I keep answering every question you ask.
Okay. I just want to ask you one question. Do you think that we immediately need this health care reform, or that if we fix some of the things that are wrong with the current health care situation, we'll be okay?
I don't know. I don't think we need the reform that Obama's put. Believe me, I don't think a tax and spend liberal Democrat is the answer for our health care problems.
Very good.
But I also think that the health care system has been the way it is for so long, and there really, you know what? There's more people that I'm comfortable with not being covered. I'm sorry. It annoys me when I see so much money wasted. Dude, you can't ask me a question and then keep jumping in. You can't ask me a question. I'm answering your question, sir.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. I'm going to listen to you.
That's all right, Mike.
I think that there's more people. I think there's more people. That I'm comfortable with not being covered.
All right.
We're on the same page, my friend, and I tell you what.
Then how'd you say I was 100% wrong? You said I was 100% wrong.
If we stop the frivolous lawsuits, healthcare
part of it, yes,
come down.
I agree with it. Part of it is frivolous lawsuits jack up the insurance rates, and greed motivate frivolous law. I understand that it's kind of a circular problem, but it's not just tort reform.
I wanted to address something with James, where you're talking about, you want to see people be able to get health care, and if there's
preventative
a family,
medicine, yes.
If there's a family that you want the kids to be able to go to a pediatrician, things like that. That is the health care system we have now. Like, that's your idea of what it's like. The one he wants to put forth isn't going to be that easy for people to just go. There's going to be an overwhelming amount of people. The waiting list is going to be ridiculous. It's not going to be like it is now, where, all right, we pay this money, but at least little Johnny's going to go in the waiting room, and the doctor's it's going to be like a little fucking Norman Rockwell picture. It's going to be this fucking a whole different animal. The way medicine works, the way people are taken care of, it's gonna be completely different. So it's not that easy of a fix of just, let's reform a few things and everyone will have the health care that you are afforded and I am and a lot of other people in this country for a grave fucking price. But it's going to be a whole new animal.
Look, I went without it for 10 years, so I know what it's like not have health care.
I went for many years.
I went for my 30 now.
I would bet half my life.
My 20. Yeah, you know what? I might be on that
close
boat
to
too.
half my life.
Exactly.
So I went a long time without health care, and I know people that don't have it. And it sucks if you get sick. It sucks if you need a fucking a tooth out, or if you need a fucking.
I put a drill screw in an abscessed gum once. A drill screw.
Because the insurance companies, and this is what Sicko points out, and he's right. This is where Michael Moore was right, is that a lot of people who work for the insurance companies, their job is to turn you down. Their job is to find a reason to not honor the insurance you have so they don't have to pay for procedures that they don't deem absolutely necessary.
That shit is
so here it is. In good
Yep.
faith, you work a job, you pay into the system, and these fucking vultures are trying to find a reason to not honor the arrangement you have.
Obama should do a little focusing on that type of thing.
Exactly.
Yes.
That's all part of the problem.
I'm so with you with all that.
I don't think we're in any disagreement on that one.
No.
That needs to be taken care
that
of.
to me is a much more angering, vulturish mentality than some fucking dummy who's eating too many Funyuns.
I don't care about the Funyuns. I mean, I care about the Funyuns guy, and that's huge. What I care about is enough, like Opie said. Enough is enough. And we got your fucking hand out of my pocket.
And we got to look at the people that are taking, advantage of the system, all the way up to the executives taking advantage. Oh, you got to just run the gamut.
They're all equally as bad.
I said it earlier. They're the same person.
You don't like the big executive and stuff, but you're talking a lot fewer of them than there are people taking advantage of the system on a smaller level. These social programs. So it really does equal out in scumbaggery.
Yeah, I don't think it does. Even though I don't think the motives are, and I'm not saying I don't just hate executives. Again, executives a lot of times are the brilliant people that make the companies run. Without executives, you don't have companies. You know what I mean? It's not some radical, if you make more than $5 million a year, you're it's not that. It's just, but what I see what's been going on in the last year, it's despicable.
Most executives are way overpaid.
A lot of them are, yeah.
But you
unbelievable.
Let me tell you something also. On the news, you will see that a fuckload more than you'll see abuses of the system by people on welfare. You will see, Bernie Madoff, that motherfucker should have his head chopped off. But they will show Bernie on the news every fucking day. Meanwhile, go down. Let's see some abuses taking place.
Fair enough, but let's see that whole supermarket full of people spending their money, some wisely, some poorly, food stamps. Yeah. That in their lifetime, that entire supermarket full of people will never do a tenth of the damage that one piece of shit did. They will never do the damage he did. Yeah, yeah. They will never cause the economic domino problem that he caused. And where is he? In a medium security jail.
But you know something? He's a criminal. They're not. They're just people wasting fucking money, having too many kids, living beyond their means, and that's not a crime.
But if one of them steals to get some money, they're going to fucking jail. That fucking piece of shit is in a fairly, for jail, comfortable medium security jail. He's not doing hard time.
Well, I think he should be in
that's
fucking...
all part of the same...
Fuck you up the ass.
Of course he should be.
Federal fuck you up the ass prison.
Well, we could continue, but we should take a break.
Yeah,
phones are just ridiculous. I mean, look at this feedback. We're never going to get to
I'm hungry.
Me too, from love.
Let's talk about tits next.
All right.
And I'll buy
tits and the cost of tits in America.
Coming up next on the Opie and Anthony Show.
When we come back, I have a gig to plug. I'm not going to do it now. I'm teasing it.
All right. Jimmy.
I'm teasing it.
Love seeing Jimmy Norton. I hope it's close, but I bet it's not.
We also have this guy, Dr. Carroll. He was on the Colbert Report last night.
Colbert.
And he wants to kind of debate you on the healthcare thing. Which is kind of strange
because we kind of did it for 2 hours, but
you got a guy that's really going to, be on the other side of this whole thing.
I want to hear his point.
And then we also have Andy Levy from Red Eye coming in. Very funny guy. And Kristen Davis.
The madam.
The madam.
I find them both more interesting, by the way, than this doctor.
Yeah, we'll see what Dr. Carroll has to say.
Carroll, I've never heard that name on a man before, but I'm sure it's all right. And don't call me Carroll.
I think that's it for now. Quick break.
All righty.
Yeah, right. Opie and Anthony.
Hi, this is Jerry Cantrell from Alice in Chains. You're listening to Opie and Anthony.
Ah.